Welcome to the EOB Podcast, where we talk about the weekend box office and the new openings this week. I'm Benno, and joining me is Sen Dong. So Sen, hey, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. We're here this time together for Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah, last week.
Last year we missed it.
Yes, we did, but right now we're here for the spinoff, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, right?
Yeah.
We got pretty close to our, predictions.
Right. Because I think originally you were saying like 110, and then I told you how XSX, XSX has it at like 170 or something, and I guess at the time I think some of the tracking reports were having it at like about 145 to 150. Mm-hmm. And then both of us kind of upgraded. Well, both of us made adjustments to our predictions. I think where were we at? I think we were right on the mark, right?
Well, it's kind of like
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's between yours and mine. You said 150, and I said, hey, I would go a bit higher at 160. But it's probably closer to yours since these are estimate figures, and typically they're lower.
Yeah, well, you never know because they estimated a huge drop for Sunday. So if it gets more audiences on Sunday, then it could be closer to yours. So it depends. Yeah. They might have underestimated Sunday.
Look, studios or the theaters never underestimate. So
some do. Sometimes they do.
True. But I've only seen it gone down, not up. So
I've seen it gone up. I think Star Wars was higher than expected. A lot of Disney films were higher than expected. Disney tend to underestimate. They tend to be a little bit more conservative on the Sunday figure.
Okay. In case we forgot to mention it, Rogue One, a Star Wars story, as expected, came in number one at the box office.
At 155.
155 million.
Yeah, right between
which is,
your figure and my figure.
Yes. So we're pretty good on this one. So yay.
Yeah.
155 million. What do you think?
It's solid. I think some people were overestimating, like most of the box office analysts were estimating closer to the XSX figure, which is about 170, 175. I think the tracking post, as it got closer to release, was around there too. So I think everyone else was converging on the 170 to 175 mark. In that respect, it's a little bit, they overestimated. They were expecting a bit more, but 155 is very solid. It's one of the biggest, it's like the third highest opening of the year. It's like the second highest opening in December, second only to the first Star Wars reboot, The Force Awakens. That did 245. I don't think anyone was expecting this to do anywhere close to that, but it did 155, one of the biggest openings ever. And, it's a spin-off. It doesn't have any characters from the old Star Wars movies other than Darth Vader. He only made a cameo.
Yeah, I believe they used kind of like CGI to resurrect him.
Well, I'm not sure they have to because his face is covered. They did use CGI to resurrect one of the actors from A New Hope who has passed away.
Oh, okay. Then I got the characters wrong. All right.
Yeah, you got the characters wrong. Yeah. It makes more sense to do it that way because, Darth Vader has a mask on. There's no need to. They can just put a mask on.
Right. Wait, is it still voiced by that guy, James Earl Jones?
Oh, well, yeah. Darth Vader is definitely voiced by James Earl Jones. But the character they resurrected through CGI, they have voice doubles. But they did tweak the voice to sound like the guy from the first film. And the reviews on it is mixed. Some are like, hey, you can tell it's CGI when you look through the eyes. You're soulless. And some are like, wow, this is amazing. This is like state of the art, the best we ever done in using CGI to create a character. Besides that, Rogue One opened really well. It's promising for the Star Wars universe in that they can create a movie without some of the major characters from the central Star Wars storyline. I guess no major characters playing a primary role.
Right. I have not seen the movie. Have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so from my reading of the movie through the trailers, right? This is kind of like the first movie, I guess, without someone that's strong in the Force or having to handle a lightsaber, right, as the main character.
Oh, yeah. There were mentions of that on reviews. They said there's no lightsabers.
Right. So, like we said, right, this is kind of a test case for the spin-off movies where, can they go beyond lightsabers? Can they go beyond the Force and focus on a story that kind of takes place within the universe but it doesn't have to be about the struggles, with the empire, I guess. I mean, they could, but I guess they kind of take it one step at a time. They could probably focus on some, small village on a planet somewhere about something else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
So
Yeah.
And this 155 million opening is I feel very good because you don't have, like you said, right? They don't have the original characters: Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, R2, and whatever. Pretty much almost new characters except with the return of minor characters and of course Darth Vader, right?
Yeah, right.
So I see good things ahead for the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, it's very promising. It looks like no one's going to open anything on December 16th for the next, several years.
But they will try. They will try. I mean, if we're thinking of all these other movies.
I'm not sure they'll do counter programming, but
yeah, counter programming. But it's not wise to open a high budget movie opposite Star Wars.
Right.
Which we'll find out as we go down the list.
Right. Speaking of that, let's move on to number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Moana did 11.7 million over the weekend. It held up pretty well. Just a 37% drop off considering the huge business that Wolf One did. After 4 weeks of release, Moana is doing 162 million domestically, and the worldwide figure is at 280 million.
Yes, and it pulled in that number by removing nearly 300 theaters.
Right, so it's holding up decent, performing decently well against the Force.
Yes, and because of the Force, I have to mention before we move on is that it opened in over 4,000 locations. And as we go down the list, we see that except for a couple of exceptions, a lot of movies lost theaters because of Star Wars.
That's true. Yeah, right. A lot of movies lost thousands of screens.
Right.
All right, let's move on to number 3, Office Christmas Party. Did 8.5 million over the weekend. The drop-off is about 50%. After 2 weeks, it has grossed 31.5 million on a budget of 45 million. So I think you'll end up doing okay, modest business, but not the home one that Paramount probably was expecting. The worldwide figure is at 51 million. Comedies usually don't perform well overseas.
Yeah, Office Christmas Party is one of the few exceptions that then lost theaters, apparently. It held on, because this is still its second week. But, it still dropped 50%. I mean, it is affected, like I say, it is affected when a huge movie like Rogue One opens, and every movie is affected. And I guess it did okay.
Right. Yeah, it's okay. Depending on how it holds up in the following weeks and Christmas is coming up, it can do about 50 million, and then they'll probably make a profit on home video. So it'll make a modest profit for Paramount, but they're probably not rushing to put Jennifer Aniston in another one of these R-rated comedies.
I mean, they might, but it won't be Office Christmas Party 2.
Right.
I think she could do comedies as evidenced by her previous ones, right? And those could do quite well. Just this one just doesn't do it. And I guess one of the thing is her co-star is Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
All right. We move along to number 4, which is the other new release. You could say counter programming to Star Wars, and it's a headline by Will Smith called Collateral Beauty. It only pulled in 7 million.
Yeah, what figure were we putting it at?
You were closer. You were 12 million. I say you could probably do 20.
Okay.
So I was way off. I'm batting like 50% last week.
It's amazing because this film not only does it have Will Smith, it also had very respectable actors like Helen Mirren, Edward Norton, Keira Knightley, Kate Winslet. I mean, holy crap! This all these Academy Award winning actors, and they ended up with a stinker. I mean, the reviews are horrible. 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's one of those films that I thought had to have good reviews, and it got horrible reviews.
But you were right? You were right. You say it depends on the reviews. Like this movie with great actors, and with great actors, you say it heightened up the expectation.
Yeah, with these great actors, you expect decent material. When people saw how horrible the product was, they have a certain expectations. And even if they weren't expecting Oscars, they were expecting at least something half decent, and this was way below that.
It is, but 13% at Rotten Tomatoes. The review, this is horrible review. When I'm thinking like poll reviews, I'm thinking in the maybe 40s.
Yeah.
But 13% is like beyond bad.
Yeah, it is one of those examples of, hey, even if you put the greatest actors and actresses together, sometimes you end up with junk.
I guess it's one of those movies where, I don't know, I think it might be better than what the reviews let on. But I guess up against the expectation with these actors, and then maybe the material just doesn't really work well, I guess.
Right. Yeah. With all those great actors, people, I think critics were expecting something, just at least a tad better. But I guess the good thing with this movie is the budget is only $36 million, which is pennies for a Will Smith movie. He gets paid $36 million, including back end. He gets way more than that for, his blockbuster film. So $36 million is pennies for Will Smith film, and at $7 million, horrible reviews. I don't know, Christmas time, feel good movie. If it can hold on during the holiday season, it can eventually break even, and I expect that this film will do decent on home video because of, all the fans of all these actors and actresses will at least, they might not go out to the theaters to see it, but they might check it out of interest on home video. Because of its modest budget will eventually break even.
Oh, right. But it's a lost cause in theaters, I feel, because it didn't open well, and the reviews certainly 13% won't help.
Yeah,
right? I don't know. I'm not sure if it's even going to reach its budget in theaters. So
with reviews that bad, it could drop by a lot. But the only good thing here is that the cinema score is at A-.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
Big disparity there, so we'll see if it can hang on. But still, it only opened to 7. It can only drop from there, and just depend on how much. So.
Right.
All right, number 5 is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. It put in $5 million over the weekend. Lost nearly 600 theaters because of Star Wars. About 52% drop off from previous week. Domestic gross is $207 million so far, and the worldwide take is $717 million.
Yeah, it continues to whack it up.
Continue to rack it up, and as we pointed out previously, it's the first movie in a planned 5-movie franchise.
Right. So we'll see more of them. Let's move on to number 6. Manchester by the Sea. It went wide over the weekend, and it did $4.2 million. After 5 weeks of platform release, it did $14 million. I mean, it's very well reviewed. It's one of these films that will probably rack up awards and nominations. It has already racked up some nominations with the Golden Globes. Extremely well reviewed.
Yes, in the comedies department. Yeah.
Yeah, but on Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 97%. So it's the best reviewed film of all the films in the top 10 of the box office. Although the $4 million is slightly lower than I expected, so it's an okay expansion. We'll see if it can hold on in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I think this movie is financed by Amazon, as I think we pointed out in the last podcast. I think the number is actually pretty good for a movie like this. Like 14 million domestic gross, it's doing expansion. It's still going, and by expanding, it actually made more. Right, so that means this movie has a strong word of mouth.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure because it expanded to nearly 1,000 theaters, and the gross only improved by around 30%. Compared to the next film on our list, you see how big the disparity is.
True, but I'd like to point out that this movie is not mass market material.
I would think so is La La Land.
Yes, but La La Land has a more hype, I feel.
More pre-release festival hype.
Right. That's true. But still, I'm saying it's respectable for the people, the actors. Casey Affleck headlines it, and he's not like a huge draw. But in the indie world, I guess as an indie movie, it's doing respectable business.
Yeah. For indie movie, it's doing 14 million so far. They'll probably continue to expand it, and we'll see if we can continue to hold on to its audience.
Right, and see if it can match up to our next movie.
Yeah, and number 7 is La La Land. It expanded to from a few theaters to 200 screens over the weekend, and it did 4 million. Like I was saying earlier, it did 4 million on 200 screens compared to Manchester by the Sea, which did about the same on nearly 1,200 screens. So obviously, La La Land, the per screen average is 20,000, which is very high for a film that is playing at just 200 theaters. gross 5 million in just 2 weeks of release. Yeah, word of mouth is very good on this film. I wonder how much wider are they going to go? Are they going to go another couple hundred, or are they going to release it nationwide in this weekend, like to 1,000 something theaters?
I'm not sure, but they're going to do it at some point eventually. But like I said, unlike Manchester by the Sea, right, La La Land is headed by more marketable people, right? Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone. This movie at the festival is hyped up by even actors in other movies. I think there was one that said, hey, why are you, at this movie, go see La La Land instead.
Right. I'm surprised that the budget is 30 million.
Well, it's not an expensive movie to make, it's not a period piece, and these people obviously know that it's not a blockbuster, so they're not going to be paid that much.
I thought that 30 million is kind of high for an indie movie, but again, I was thinking Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone would take a pay cut to make a musical.
And they did, I think. Emma Stone, right? She's kind of in demand. I think she's worth at least 10, 15.
Well, it looks like they'll pay the market rate of about 5 million each. Because Emma Stone, I mean, she has the Spider-Man films. Besides that, she has a couple hits that she headlined, but she also had misses like Aloha. Her biggest film with her as a headliner was
Easy A?
Yeah, Easy A. If you look at her filmography, I think her going rate is probably about 5 million. And Ryan Gosling's going rate is probably around 5 million. So it looks like both of them accepted their going rate. And yeah, I'm surprised by the 30 million price tag. I mean, it's compared to blockbusters, it's pretty cheap, but for indie film, it's kind of on the expensive side.
Well,
sometimes But they're going to make it back.
Yeah, they are. Remember, La La Land is kind of, I feel, from all the, hype and everything, is the kind of leading contender for the Best Picture Oscar.
Yeah.
From that, it's going to have live on, home video, etc. People are going to give it a second look if they pass it down.
I'm not saying it's not going to make it back. I'm just saying I'm surprised that indie film, 30 million to me was kind of high for indie film. But hey, by the way it's going to make it back to theatrical. We won't even need a home video.
All right, keep an eye out for La La Land and Manchester by the Sea. I think two movies are going to go head in head in these various awards.
Yeah, and don't forget about the next film on the list. And number 8, also up for some awards, is Arrival. It did 2.8 million over the weekend. After 6 weeks of release, it has already grossed 86.5 million on a budget of just 47 million. So it's still holding on. Worldwide figure is at 135 million. Still doing pretty good.
Yeah, it's doing amazing considering it only cost 47 million. And the movie is headlined by who? Amy Adams.
Yeah. And Jeremy Renner?
Yeah. So not A-list people, but based on the strength of the movie and, word of mouth.
Amy Adams is kind of A-list now. Like she's in almost every movie she's in the last couple of years have been award winners and box office hits.
Yeah, but I don't think she's at the level of prime Julia Roberts, for example, right? She's not there.
Yeah, she's not there, but she's probably one of the higher demand actresses.
Yeah, Amy Adams, Jessica Chastain, similar level, I feel.
But I think on a consistency level, she's more consistent than Jessica Chastain, though.
But hey, Arrival is doing, I feel, great in theaters because of who's in it, right? It's carried by Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner. It's based on a book by somebody. Yeah, it's doing well considering it's hanging on theaters, and it's only because of Rogue One, the Star Wars story, and it lost nearly 1,000 theaters. So the box office dropped a bit. But if not, then I feel that it's still gonna stay in the the 5-6 spot for a couple of weeks. So anyway, like you said, it might get some award noms because how well it's doing.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to number 9, Doctor Strange. The 2 million over the weekend. Total is at 226 million. Worldwide take has reached 653 million. Nothing more we can say about it.
No. Yeah, Doctor Strange. He's gonna, I guess, be a critical character, I guess, in the upcoming movie.
Yeah, it seems like every new Marvel release is a critical character now.
Yeah, no, the Avenger movie is, I think, heading toward the using the Infinity Gauntlet storyline.
Oh, okay, right.
So I guess Doctor Strange plays a big role in that.
Right.
Because it takes place in the cosmic and mystic part. So
okay.
It's going to be huge.
All right, let's move on to number 10. Nocturnal Animals. They 1.4 million over the weekend. It has grossed about 8.8 million after 5 weeks of platform release. It's an indie movie starring Amy Adams and Jake Gyllenhaal. Kind of okay, kind of a strange thriller.
We introduced the movie in the last podcast, but now I forget what this movie is about. I guess that's how forgettable it is,
Yeah.
So, what is this movie about?
Good question. We should rewind to the reviews. Surprisingly, were half decent. 71% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay. Oh. So Amy Adams plays a art gallery owner, and she's being stalked by her ex, I believe.
Reviews are decent, 71% on Rotten Tomatoes. It made about 8.8 million so far. Doesn't look like it's moving up. But that's probably the best we can expect from it.
Well, like I said last week, it sounds like a generic stalker movie. So, and it did kind of, I guess. I'm not sure what the budget is, and I don't think it's going to be is that expensive. And it's one of those movies that's just there.
Right.
I guess that's the best we can say about Nocturnal Animals. If it pops up again in the top 10, which I probably doubt.
Yeah.
We're going to talk more about it.
Right. All right. Let's move on to the opening films for this weekend.
All right. So we have 3 new releases, wide releases this weekend. We have Assassin's Creed, Passengers, and Sing. So which one do you want to start off with?
I think Passengers is probably the bigger one because it stars Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt.
Okay, let's start off with Passengers. It's a Sony picture, distributed by Sony. Like you say, stars Jennifer Lawrence, Chris Pratt. They are on a spaceship.
Yeah, they're on a spaceship. They're supposed to be hibernating, sleeping, and woke up too early.
Right, 90 years too early. 90 years too early. And they're the only 2 who woke up. And obviously, there's a problem on the spaceship, and they need to deal with.
Yeah, and there's romance,
Yes, of course.
Both of them are, good-looking movie stars. And they woke up too early, and they're the only 2 people, so they have to, spend their time together. And of course, chemistry happens. And
yeah, that's what happens when you put Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence in a movie.
Yeah,
they fall in love. And they took 110 million to do it.
Okay.
That's what the movie costs.
Yeah, and then something happens to the spaceship, and they are trying to escape, I guess, and try to save everyone too, I guess. Right.
So, it's kind of like the ending in the Titanic, right? Jack is on the board, and, they're floating, and, they have to let go, and, anyway, yeah, that's how it played out. I don't know if that's the way, but that's where it's heading.
Right. The reviews are surprisingly not that good. 31% on Rotten Tomatoes so far, based on just 35 reviews. So it's not looking that good on the review side.
Yeah.
But on the interest level side, these are 2 big stars on a sci-fi movie. I think they'll open. Just how big, I don't know.
You think? Well, no. Here's the thing. I mentioned the budget because this is a story that does not need 110 million to tell. But they did it anyway, and I don't think the story supports the budget.
Well, I think every sci-fi movie is expensive though.
True.
And if you put big stars in it, it can be pretty expensive. So, well, at 110 million, this film needs to open like in the 40 million range minimum.
Do you think it can?
Christmas is coming up, so even if it opens at 25, it can still recoup this, 100 million budget, because films in the Christmas holiday season tend to be leggier.
Okay.
But the thing is, will it open that huge?
Yes, that's the big question, right?
Yeah, I'm going with 25 million, 2 big stars, sci-fi movie, romance, mainstream movie.
Okay, I expect you to say higher, based on that, but I'm gonna go a bit lower, 20 million. It's a movie kind of, like I said, it doesn't need that high of a budget to tell. And because there are still, Rogue One in theaters. There's still the competition from Assassin's Creed and Sing, surprisingly. I feel it's probably the bigger movie of the new releases.
Could be.
So 20 million, okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if it opened lower.
All right. I'm going 25.
All right. And so we'll see how this will play out. And like you said, the reviews aren't great to begin with too. So
Right.
All right.
Let's move on to Sing then.
Okay, Sing. It is the new animated movie by the people who made the Minions and Despicable Me. It features the voice of Matthew McConaughey, Reese Witherspoon, Seth MacFarlane, Scarlett Johansson, John C. Reilly, so on and so forth.
Reviews are decent.
Yes.
72% on just 25 reviews. Moana is kind of, although it's still doing decent, it's kind of dropping off. So there's room for another family film, especially for Christmas. But I'm not sure how big an audience this can get, because it's a movie about, American Idol pretty much, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So this movie is about, I think, a koala.
Yeah.
Is it a koala? So his theater is failing, so he decided to do this singing contest to draw in the townspeople. And all these people, not people, but animals from all walks of life, a housewife, son of a criminal gang, etc., etc. They all try to compete for the prize money of $100,000 or so, or 10,000 or 100,000, anyways, for some money. And, just trying to have a taste of stardom, I guess.
Yeah.
And this movie, I guess, features a lot of contemporary music.
So kind of like Trolls.
I guess so.
In terms of the music, in terms of contemporary music. It's by Illumination Entertainment. They've been on a roll.
Yes.
They have Minions films and have been doing, 300 to 400 million at the domestic box office and billions in worldwide box office. I wonder if this can get anywhere near that kind of figure. I don't know. The reviews are solid, but
yeah, solid. But look again, the budget, they always is consistently at like 75 million,
Yeah.
So it's going to do well. It's going to make money for Universal. And like you say, Illumination, I think, hit their stride. They found a formula that works.
Yeah. But I wonder, will this reach Minions level? Probably not, right? Will we reach anywhere close to that? I don't know. So what figure are you putting it at?
Let's take a look, okay? Despicable Me 2 opened to 83 million. Minions opened to 115 million. Secret Life of Pets opened to 104 million. So it's not just Despicable Me and it's not just the Minions, right? And like I said, I think the studio found a formula that works there, and it's like these musicals, like High School High kind of thing, except that it's animated form. So I don't think it's gonna go in the high 50s because, like I said, there's all these movies are opening, and I think this is gonna be the bigger movie of the new releases.
You could be right.
So I think it could probably do maybe 45 to 50 million.
45 to 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been on such a roll, like, goodness. The last 3 films have done like over 300 million.
And they're not doing with state-of-the-art animation. They're doing it with, I guess, off-the-shelf, animation software, it seems like.
Well, not off the shelf, but, they're keeping the budget at 70 million. They're letting the story and their characters carry their films rather than, technical merits.
Yes, and the budget is just a bit above stop motion, so hey, win-win.
Yeah. And, I'm not sure if this has as big of an appeal as the previous films. I mean, the Minions are, everyone wants a Minions, stuffed animal or character. Secret Life of Pets, again, pets. I mean, this one features animals too. Are we sick of American Idol? I mean,
no. This one had like you cannot go wrong with cute characters.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm only thinking 35.
Pull down the movie.
I'm only thinking 35 to 40.
35 to 40. Okay, which is, I feel, still very good. Those numbers, even if it's like 35 to 40, it's very good because the movie only cost 75 million to make, right? And I feel this movie will, like the other, like Secret Life of Pets, is gonna have legs.
Yeah, I could be low on this one, but I'm thinking 35 to 40. I mean, they'll still make a huge profit on this. It's just, won't be the Secret Life of Pets or, Minions or Despicable Me.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that we thought Illumination only has the minions, right? Or Despicable Me,
Yeah, but they also have.
Minions proved that they could do it with the spinoff, with the yellow characters, right? Secret Life of Pets kind of proved that they don't need the minions.
Yeah,
Despicable
right.
Me. They can focus completely on just some random animals, and they could
Right.
do very well. If this one does well, like I said, we have to give Illumination its due. Like I said, they hit their stride. I feel that they found a formula that works for them, and that's uniquely them, right?
Yeah.
It's their brand of animation that they do, and that's kind of like outside of Disney, outside of the Pixar ones,
Yeah,
even DreamWorks.
right. And they've been more, the last three films in terms of grosses have been more consistent than even Pixar, Pixar or Disney. So they kind of reached their peak. So I'm not sure, with their last three films doing 300 million plus and the one before that doing 250 or 60 million. I'm not sure if a film that ends up grossing 140 million, even though that's really good based on its budget, I'm not sure what they're expecting for this.
Oh, well, which is kind of the exciting part, right? We're kind of like seeing the formation of what Illumination is or will be, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what they're turning into, and this might be what they're turning into.
Yeah. All right. So I'm thinking 30 to 35. What are you thinking?
You say 35. You say 35 to 40.
35 to 40. All right.
Yeah, I'm saying 45 to 50. So.
Oh, okay. So you're going a level higher. I'm going slightly lower.
Right. I'm kind of bullish on Illumination right now because, like I said, I guess they hit the stride. They know what they are. They found a formula that works, and they're sticking to that. And I think it's gonna do that level. If not, even if it's at your level, I think it's still pretty good. I mean, they're being consistent.
Yeah. All right. Should we move on to Assassin's Creed?
Okay, Assassin's Creed. The movie stars Michael Fassbender. It's based on a video game series. As an assassin, actually, the descendant of a long line of assassins. So I guess the movie starts off with a group of people who's trying to find out what his ancestor hid. I guess there's some powerful object or whatever, and along the way they try to, delve into his memories, of his ancestors, and he somehow gained the skills of his ancestors. So he knows kung fu.
Yeah. So Assassin's Creed is another video game adaptation, and that genre has been pretty bad, not only in terms of reviews, but also at the box office. So, especially in the US, I mean, even the last one, Warcraft, it bombed in the US, but it did great in China. It made over 200 million in China. Humongous hit. Angry Birds made about 100 million. Angry Birds is one of the few success stories in this genre. And Assassin's Creed, I don't know. Michael Fassbender is still not a huge draw at the box office, although he's a great actor. I'm thinking like 10 million.
Okay, so of the three new releases, Assassin's Creed has the biggest bomb potential. It's either the bomb or it's gonna be a bomb. So, and I feel that it's tending toward a bomb.
Yeah. What's the budget on this?
Supposedly around 200 million.
What?
Yeah.
They poured in 200 million?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what I mean. It has the biggest bomb potential, and Michael Fassbender is trying to cash in on a franchise. He's the producer, and he's putting himself in the lead character. And as you say, he's not known for someone who opened these huge blockbusters.
Right. I mean, he was in the X-Men film, so
yeah, but that's the X-Men,
still,
right?
Yeah, that's the X-Men. Yeah, and he's part of an ensemble that includes Jennifer Lawrence. So you know what? Based on that budget, this is gonna be a bomb. It's gonna bomb. I think it's gonna bomb.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna bomb? It's just what kind of bomb this will be. Will this be like John Carter level bomb or?
Well, here's the thing. As a video game, it's huge. I guess it has a lot of games. I guess they have sequels for the game, right?
Yeah.
There are a couple others, right? But as a movie, right? Number one, it's not a family film. Assassin's Creed appeals to the people who are into like action movies, but who might not necessarily be into the game. And I don't think these hardcore gamers necessarily want to go out and mingle with people and watch Assassin's Creed.
Well, I'm not sure if they don't want to go out and mingle with that. They've been playing these games. Do they really want? Yeah, it's a strange thing. And this one, there's no reviews yet.
A surprise, huh? Surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Strange thing with these video game adaptations, they, for some reason, no matter what they do with these films, not what they do with these films, it's just that for some reason they're always poorly reviewed and they're always a dud at the box office. And this one has Michael Fassbender. He's a great actor. I don't know about the director, but the fact that there's no review so far doesn't bode well for the film. The director has done some small films like the Snowtown Murders, Macbeth, The Churning, all very well reviewed films. So they hired an indie director and they gave him a $200 million budget. He's done quality films, and Michael Fassbender is kind of an indie actor. Maybe people who play video games would rather play these characters than have someone dictate what these characters do.
Well, yeah, I see video game movies kind of like in the early stages, kind of like what the superhero movies were before.
Mm-hmm.
They got serious about it. We're kind of like in this transition period where it's between, like cheap quickies and quality. And I think we're not there yet, judging by the, I guess unevenness of the movies that's out, right? There's Angry Birds, there's Warcraft, then now there's Assassin's Creed. I'm sure there's going to be some other, Nintendo movies, another Mario movies coming out at some point.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the Angry Birds did okay. It wasn't like a smash. It did okay. Warcraft, outside of China, it did pretty poorly.
Yeah. I don't think the domestic market is ready or accepting of these video game movies yet.
Right. Or they might have to hire Kevin Feige and tell him to put something together.
Right. Okay, so you were thinking 10 million.
10 million opening, so it's going to be a major bomb.
I'll throw in with you as well. I think probably 10 to 15 million, or maybe at the 10 million as well, the lower end, because they can't all be doing this well, right? I expect Sing to be the top of the new releases, right? If Passenger is doing about 20-ish, right? And if Rogue One is going to be still doing really well, right? There's not a lot of room for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we will see next week and see how these movies will do.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. And I have to say, Merry Christmas. Next time we meet, it'll be the day after Christmas. So happy holidays, everyone who's listening. Come back next week.
All right. Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys next week.